Your fear of a breakup is all wrong. Your thinking is counterintuitive. And today I want to get into that a little bit and I want to talk about why I've helped 90% of my clients to not get back with their exes. I've helped 90% of my clients to stay single and work on themselves. So effectively, I've kept a lot of people broken up. Yeah. Come take a walk with me and find out why that is a good thing in this video. As always, it's Nick, doing my best to get you through your breakups as easily and as healthily as possible without the BS. If today's video is not enough for you, you know what you can do. You can drop me an email at thelovefix20@gmail.com and arrange a one-to-one voice coaching session with myself, or you can join my free Facebook group. The details are below in the description. Without further ado, let's get into it. So I guess one of the key reasons why I love so much that I can keep people apart, that I can keep people from getting back together with toxic exes, is because so many of my one-to-one clients have come back to me 6 months later and say, Nick, I am so much happier being single, or I'm so much happier dating someone new that is more compatible with myself. And I see this as one of the most dangerous problems in the dating world and relationships at the moment, is that too many of us are getting with the wrong people and therefore employing other people to love and validate you because you don't know how to love and validate yourself. And that, my friends, is never going to work. If you cannot love and validate yourselves, you cannot audition or employ someone else to do it for you. So this typically leads people to getting with the wrong people. We're outsourcing this, and there's only one outcome to that. It's a breakup, and it's going to be pretty devastating at that. So the reason I would say probably at least 90 to 95% of my clients, hey, look, I don't think a reconciliation is possible. I think you'll be better served to stay by yourself, working on yourself and fixing the things that you've got wrong, is because that's genuinely true 95% of the time. Now, have I helped people reconcile? Absolutely yes. But that is the exception to the rule. Most breakups should be permanent. Most relationships just come to an end. In fact, 90% of all relationships will fail. But don't take that as a nihilistic viewpoint. Take that as training for when you actually find the correct person. Now, guys, I would consider myself a successful failure, as in I have failed at so many relationships. I've made plenty of mistakes. My exes have made plenty of mistakes, but it has taught me so much. I'm getting to the point now where I would view and do relationships very, very differently to what I did 3, 4, 5, 10 years ago. So I don't see that as failed relationships. I see that as a learning experience. Because how do you define a failed relationship? So many people say, oh, this relationship failed. I'd see, well, no, it was actually a success because you had some good times together. It just ran its natural course. You learn from it. And as long as you go away and you adapt and you level up and you come away with some additional tools that you can add to your toolkit, then it was quite successful. So when I get into it with my clients with dealing with their breakup and why it's a good idea to stay away from it, why it's a good idea just to accept the breakup, just to respect the decision that your ex has decided to leave that situation, the fear is unbelievable. It goes through the roof. And whilst that's understandable, my question is always this. To quote Dr. Robert Glover, what if this was a gift? What if this was the best thing that ever happened to you? What if your ex just gave you the best gift of all? Absolute freedom to do whatever you want with whoever you want. And if you can think about it in those terms, if you can really step back and take an objective view, maybe that relationship was completely wrong. Maybe your ex has seen something that you haven't seen yet, or realized something that you haven't realized yet. And just because they've broken up with you doesn't make them a bad person. in most cases. I generally believe most people are good. Don't get me wrong, there are some sociopaths out there, there are some narcissists out there, and I quite frequently deal with and talk to victims of narcissism, and that can go down a dark path. But I generally believe most people are good. So just take a step back. Was that relationship really working? Or were you just in love with the idea of that relationship, the idea of them that you built in your head, not the real them? These are the questions that you need to ask yourself. And maybe this is not the answers that you're seeking right now. And maybe me saying, hey, I'm really happy that I keep a lot of people broken up. I keep a lot of people from getting back with their exes. Maybe that's not what you want to hear right now. But I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that my work is now starting to speak for itself a little bit. My results are starting to speak for itself. And I can probably honestly say that 95% of my clients would back me up on that and say, hey, yeah, I'm in a better place. Now, I don't want to take all the credit here. When I'm coaching one-to-one on the phone, I'm just pointing people in the right direction. I'm not a therapist. I'm not a doctor. I'm just somebody that listens. I might have a slightly higher education when it comes to relationship dynamics and breakups, but that's it. I'm just taking a logical view on what my clients are telling me and looking at the different options, looking at it from a different perspective, flipping it on its head. And this is the thing. We are so in love with the idea of being in love, and it's not enough. Love just isn't enough. And you really have to take a step back and realize, what is love made out of? So you've got the initial lust, the initial attraction, and the honeymoon period, limerence, but that's perfect for like 3 months. And then you start realizing that, hey, that's just another human being over there who is imperfect, whose shit does stink, who has morning breath, who has bad habits. So then it comes down to, do we have compatible values? Are we compatible on a maturity level? Are we on a similar journey? Do we have similar life goals? Do we both want kids? These are the questions that you have to ask. And the thing that a lot of people neglect to do in relationships, they neglect to continue to work on it and working on themselves. It's very important that you continue to work on themselves. And it's also very important, and this comes up a lot, where couples stop dating each other. You should be dating each other at least once a week. And you need to make that a priority, an obligation. Yes, you need to, just like going to the gym should be a priority for you. Eating well should be a priority to you. Taking care of your kids, work are all priorities. Your partner and having consistent date nights should be a priority to you. And this is where I fear where a lot of people go wrong. They get comfortable, they take their partners for granted, and that will only lead to one outcome, and that is a breakup, because people are forgetting what got them into a good relationship: doing the work. And a relationship is an ongoing evolution, and the longer it goes on, the more maintenance it requires. And sometimes you have to change the way you think with regards to that. But I realise this has gone onto a bit of a tangent, and so I'm going to start wrapping this up and just finally address why you shouldn't fear the breakup, why you shouldn't fear agreeing with your ex. If they dump you, if they say, hey, I do not want to be with you romantically anymore, I know that hurts. Guys, I've been on both sides of this fence. I've been the dumper, I've been the dumpy. I've said this in many videos. Both sides suck for very different reasons. Both sides have very different timelines of recovery and when you get to those different stages. But I assure you that unless your ex is a complete sociopath or a narcissist, they will go through the pain. just at a different time and on maybe a slightly different scale. So, you've been dumped. It sucks. I hear you. And this is why my channel exists, is because I went through a very tough breakup. Not the worst breakup I've ever had, but certainly probably one of the most challenging for various reasons. But one thing I got right in this breakup is that I just agreed to it. I've not contacted my ex since, not once, unless it was to do with business, settling bills, collecting things from where I used to live, and etc. That's it. And I can say now, 2 years later, that I have successfully completed no contact, because I'm in a fucking good place in my life. I love my life. Spiritually, financially, emotionally, just in every way, shape or form, that I'm in such a good place, and I've leveled up. I've been on some amazing adventures. I've met some amazing people, and the future looks bright right now. And it's been hard, it's been challenging, it's been painful. I don't deny that. I'm not denying the challenges that I faced. But when I look back on it, I was like, wow, I'm happy that I stayed away from my ex. I'm happy that I've maintained the breakup. And I'm happy that I've helped 95% of you to maintain your breakups, because most of you are in such a better place now. So, do me a favor, do yourself a favor, just agree to the fucking breakup. I promise you, you'll be in a far better place. I know it feels weird, and it's probably hard to hear that, and I know it's counterintuitive. But guys, what choice do you have? You've got someone saying to you, I don't want to be with you. You cannot negotiate with terrorism. I'm not saying that being a terrorist, that's just a figure of speech, but you can't negotiate with that. Okay, there's no negotiation. If you have to negotiate desire, that's not desire. That's obligation. That's, just, it's empty. So for all of those reasons, this is why you should embrace the breakup. This is why you shouldn't have a fear of accepting it. Take the pain today so you can have a better tomorrow. Just like when I go to the gym and I work out hard, I know the pain's going to suck. I know the lactic acid is going to burn my muscles, but I know it will benefit me in the long run, because I will feel better, I will feel healthier, and my muscles will get bigger and stronger. And that's all I have for you today. I hope this has been helpful. Keep your chin up. You are enough. You will do fine. You are doing fine. And I promise you, you will be okay. I'll see you on the other side.